The OnePlus 3T is one of the best smartphones out there right now, but just like every device out there, it has its upsides and it has its downsides. So in this video, we're going to take a look at 5 great things about the 3T and 5 not so great things about the 3T. First, the good stuff, we've got the price. Starting at $440, the 3T is easily the best phone under $500, and it just might be the best bang for your buck overall. Putting this into perspective, the 3T is $210 less than the iPhone 7 and the Google Pixel, and that's not even the XL. Yet its spec sheet translates into a phone that could probably run a few $100 higher. Everything that I mentioned in this category can be tied back into the price of the phone, making it one of the better values as far as smartphones go. Next up, we're talking about speed. The 3T is easily one of the fastest phones I've ever used. Bouncing back and forth between applications, using 2 of them at once, playing games, and overall use is an absolute breeze with this phone, with little to no lag here that I've noticed in my use. Even the fingerprint reader is blazing fast. It's also one of the more reliable and accurate sensors that I've used. But not only does this phone perform quickly in day-to-day use, it also performs quickly when you're not using it. I am of course referring to dash charging. According to OnePlus, this allows you to get a 60% charge in 30 minutes, and this has been proven mostly accurate by a few sources. Dash charge is significantly faster than Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0, making it super easy and convenient to get your phone from completely dead to 100% in no time at all. Moving on to the cameras. The cameras on the 3T are nothing short of impressive, and they're especially so considering the phone's price tag. The 3T sports a 16 megapixel main shooter and a 16 megapixel selfie camera as well. The primary camera is actually a Sony IMX298 sensor with an f2.0 aperture and OIS, which is super important. Pictures come out nice, sharp, and surprisingly solid. 4K video is pretty nice as well, and the added stabilization is a huge bonus. Selfies come out very nice too, thanks to the 16 megapixel front-facing camera, making this one of the best phones for selfies. Sure, this set of cameras may not be on the level of iPhone, Galaxy, or Pixel cameras, but by no means should they be overlooked. So don't get it twisted. The 3T has what are, in my opinion, the best cameras on a phone in its class. Second to last, we have customization. The 3T is running a near-stock version of Android. It's called Oxygen OS, and there are some nice features added here. You can change the UI colorway theme. There's a dark mode, which I think is a great and underrated addition nowadays. You can choose between software or hardware keys, and you can choose the orientation of either one. There are off-screen gestures for opening up the camera, triggering the flashlight, as well as media controls. And on the hardware side of things, you have the alert slider, allowing you to customize your sound profile rather easily. So out of the box, the 3T has a nice selection of customization to get you started, helping users make the phone work the way they want it to. Last but not least, we've got the hardware. The 3T is wrapped in glass and aluminum. The phone's got a very nice and solid feel in the hand, making it one of the most premium looking and feeling devices in its price range. And on top of that, it's got a rather thin frame coming in at just 7.4 millimeters, which is 0.3 millimeters thinner than the S7 Edge. Now inside that frame, OnePlus managed to cram a 3,400 mAh battery, along with 6 gigs of RAM, and the Snapdragon 821 chip. And we can't forget the headphone jack. Yes, on paper, the 3T could be priced in the $650-700 plus range, but it's not, which is great because what's on paper actually translates into real-world usage with the 3T, making it a potential and sometimes probable flagship killer. Of course, not every phone is without its faults, but to be honest, the 3T doesn't have as many significant downfalls as you might think, which brings us back to the hardware. Sure, it's built very well with nice materials and all, but there's no getting around the fact that this phone is slippery as heck, which of course is easily remedied by a case or a skin like the one that I've got here from D-Brand. Next up is the lack of expandable storage. Of course, not everyone cares too much about this, but for the people that do care, it would have been nice for OnePlus to have made one of the slots in the dual SIM slot tray a micro SD card slot. The baseline 3T comes with 64 gigs of storage, which just isn't enough for some people. They may not be looking to congregate all their pictures and music to the cloud just yet, and they need more local storage. The thing is, a micro SD card slot wouldn't really get in the way or take up a lot of space. This is definitely something that's missed by a lot of people nowadays. And then we've got the lack of water resistance. Just like the last topic, not everyone is going to care about water resistance, and perhaps equipping this phone with that would result in a higher price tag, but there's room for that. Something important about smartphones nowadays is ruggedization, whether it be drop protection or water protection. And one way or another, there's always a chance for your phone to meet water and lose. And even if it's not by accident, some people take advantage and just wash their phones or take pictures and videos underwater. It gives users that peace of mind, knowing that if their phone does in fact come in contact with water, whether it's on accident or not, the phone will be safe. And now we're talking about that speaker. Something that's always stuck in my mind about smartphones are their speakers. The 3T sports a single bottom firing speaker. It doesn't sound awful, I've definitely heard worse, but it doesn't sound good either. You could say, why not just connect it to a Bluetooth speaker? That's the obvious workaround, but there are times when people just don't have their speakers on them and they just have to rely on the built-in one. At the end of the day, it gets the job done, but we all know it could have been quite a bit better. Lastly, we have a weak vibration motor. Again, not everyone will find this an issue because they just turn vibrations off, but when using the phone's vibration motor is pretty sad, and it makes for a not so satisfying response when pressing capacitive buttons and typing on the keyboard. For a phone like this, I'd expect it to be solid in all aspects, but something as little as a weak vibration motor actually has an impact. Budget phones like the Honor 8 have very pleasing and solid feeling vibration response to navigation controls and keyboard hammering, so it's definitely not impossible for OnePlus to pull this off, maybe on the next phone. So that about does it for the video. What do you guys think of the OnePlus 3T and the future of OnePlus? What should they add or take away in the next phone? Go ahead and let us know by dropping a comment down below. We'd love to hear your feedback. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the Android Police channel if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys later, and thank you so much for watching.